Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grimwood Games. I'm here with John, who has also written a book that you should go check out. Actually, you're rewriting it, aren't you, John?
Yeah, we're just starting on a revamp, after a few years or whatever it's been of learning more about design and gameplay and all that, and we're here to make it even better. So,
Oh, don't know what that's like. FYI, everyone, I am working on a revamp of Ironbound. I know it just came out, but um, I'm updating things for Plaguebound, and there's things in Ironbound that could be updated. So it will be free. You'll get a free PDF. It's not like I'm going to ask you to buy it again. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about Monsters of Midnight, which I need to update this logo. I just realized this logo is wrong. It is now officially called Monsters of Midnight, not Monster of Midnight. Which I do have an updated logo, but I'll deal with that later. So John doesn't know where this game is anymore. So I figured, why not go on stream, talk to John, and tell him what this game's like and what it's about. So let's start with the world, John.
okay.
So you're all humans. There's at night, tears happen in space and time that rip up into another dimension where I don't want to call them eldritch horrors, but monsters rip through these tears. So society is fairly crumbled. There's not like major cities that you're not going to find like a city that has millions of people in it. You might find a city that has thousands of people, but not a million. Um,
I like it.
the world is very dark and gruesome because not many people survive. Because there's not really any kind of protection that they can do against these monsters. Or at least that's the way I'm thinking about it right now. That could always change, as you know, things change. But the land, which is called Matilda, that's the world. I don't know why I called it Matilda. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, but it's called Matilda at the current time. And I do have to update this. It's no longer. I was going to have different species. I've changed my mind on that.
Okay.
Because the book still has different species. Which I've decided that no, it's all humans. Mainly because I don't want to do the mechanics of having different mechanical aspects of different species.
That's fair.
But the game itself has a night phase and a day phase. The night phase is kind of like, think of it like, the way I think of this world is, do you know that movie? Why am I spacing on this movie all of a sudden? It has Hugh Jackman in it. I think it's Hugh
That
Jackman.
narrows it down. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm looking it up. Van Helsing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I think of it not as like as technologically advanced as Van Helsing is,
Okay.
but like, you know how that movie has like a feel to it?
Yeah.
Hey, Twice Dad, how are you? So it kind of has like this Monster Hunter feel. to it, right? Um, that's kind of how I see this world.
Okay.
Um, there are four classes that you can be. There are. I'm getting to the classes here. All right. So there's four classes that you can be. You can be a witch. You can be a. Oh, what did I call them? Why can't I find them? They're there. Um,
I remember a
this
shaman
has the
back in the beginning, but
yeah. They're no longer shamans. This is
okay,
an old. This is the
it's the wrong one.
wrong thing.
It's all good.
Oh, this is problem with having so many different versions. Hold
Yeah.
on, guys. I'm gonna try to find the right version. Um, it also might not have updated from my laptop, but I thought it did because I actually worked on it via my laptop. Oh, add pages. Add pages. We'll do 6 pages.
Twice Dad, I noticed the howdy has a question mark. Is that you're just not sure about it? Or maybe just this face you're not sure about? Howdy to Dave, but who's this other guy? I don't know if I've
This
met you.
other guy is John. If you haven't met uh, Twice Dead Mage, he's cool. I'm thinking that this is the updated version, but I was updating the look and feel, and it's pissing me off that I don't remember what the name was of these. All right, here we go. I got them. I'm not going to share, but I'm going to talk about it. So you have a witch. The witch is basically a class that kind of like they preserve the veil and try to keep it from ripping open.
Okay.
That's their whole thought process. That's their whole like they create rituals and stuff to help protect cities and that type of thing. You have the Grimblades. The Grimblades use the veil's power to um, enhance their own bodies and become mighty warriors. And then you have the Shades, which are kind of like your stealthy class. You know, they can use the veil to hide themselves and teleport around the field and that type of thing. And then you have the Veilbound, which are they're unlike the witches. They use the magic of the veil to their own power. So they'll take the magic of the veil and release it into like a fireball or something like that.
Okay.
Um, there's uh four different um attributes. I call them the Maws. Because it's might, agility, wits, and spirit.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I like wits.
You thought you thought I said grimlets. Uh oh, the witches are close to the Jewish mystics then. Yes, I would say they're closer to the Jewish mystics than technically what we call witches in America.
Okay.
Um uh that's definitely correct, Twice Dead. So you start with those four abilities. You get to put 2, 1, 1, or 0 in those to start. So you start off that. Um, then it's skill based. So it's basically it's a D10 system that you roll your skill to determine your actions. So you would have their skills. There's different skills and stuff like that. I'm trying to get to it. I don't know why this is all broken up like it is. All right, here it is. So you have stuff like forge. Your might skills are forgecraft, axe, brawling, hammers, spears, swords. Agility skills are like traverse, hunt and harvest, ride, light fingers. Something I call veil step, which is basically like hiding in shadows and that type of thing.
Okay.
Swimming, bows, crossbows, daggers, slings, staffs. And then your wit skills are like awareness, field medicine, mighty midnight lore, tongues, wayfinding, seamanship, unseens, veilcraft, which is basically understanding and shaping the magics of the veil. And then your spirit skills are bargain, deception, presence, conviction, interrogation, ritual, which is what the witches use to help the veil, composure. So those are your skills.
Okay.
Um, and then um, the way the system works is, like I said, it's a you basically roll your d10 plus your skill modifier. Your skill modifier obviously is modified but via the seamanship.
I
Uh
giggled in my head too, twice did. Don't worry.
all right. Um but what's going to happen is you roll that, but you get a deck, a hand from your deck. So each player has a deck of cards. So you get a hand. So how initiative works is you get to choose one of those cards to be your initiative. Um, and then the rest of the cards you get to use during your rolls. You can spend a card by burning it, and that basically you just add the card value to the roll. Um, or you can do a combo move where you still do your action, wherever you've chosen to do your action, but you can combine two cards and play those and get an effect. These effects are different based on your class. So different classes have different effects. Um, Example would be um, the Grimblade, for instance, um, has um, if they do two hearts at the same, if they do two hearts, so say they have a 6 of hearts and a 4 of hearts, and they use those, they would get what the crushing force. So they would deal um damage plus card value divided by 2 onto their damage.
Okay. I do remember
Um,
some of the suit combinations from back in the beginning.
Now face cards have additional effects. So not only can you get like the you can get card value plus 2 damage, but if you say you use the jack, it would increase all numerical values of the combo effect by 2.
Okay.
So um and then um the way damage works in this game is you do have a health. Once that health drops to 0, uh you have to draw from the scar card deck.
Oh, okay.
Um and there's technically two forms of health. There's health and then there's morale. So morale is more like a moral and mental health. Um and if either one of those drops to 0, you have to draw from the scar deck of that particular type. You can only have 3 scars from each type. Um Scars can be what we call deepened. and you can do it by choice, or if you have 3 scars already, you will have to deepen a scar instead of drawing from the scar deck. Once you have 3 deepened scars, your character is dead.
Okay.
That being said, when you deepen a scar, it gives you a mechanical benefit, a severely advantaged a mechanical benefit. But when you have a scar before it's deepened, you have a flaw. So you have disability. You have a downside to
Okay.
having that flaw. So that's where scar cards come into play. And I'm building the system so you can use a table too. You don't have to have the cards.
Sure.
I want it so you don't have to have something special. So I am building a table of this stuff too, so that you
That
can.
makes sense.
But what's going to so you get 6 close calls in total. First time is bad, and the second time is good. Pretty much. That being said, and when I said that you get 3 deep, once you get to 3 deep scars, you're dead. I apologize. It's 3 deep in scars, and then if you have to take another scar, that's when you die.
Okay.
That being said, where was I going with this? So you get 6 close calls. Yes. So you basically get 6 close calls. The bad stuff still stays even after it's deepened, the twice edge. So you still have the bad stuff happening to you, but the bad stuff isn't nearly as bad as the good stuff. So sometimes deepening a scar might be helpful. That being said, you do have a day shift in the game. During the day, monsters can't come through the veil. The sun keeps them away. So at that time, there are things that you can do to help yourself. Weapons, for one, have a durability. So as you use them, the durability goes down. So you can spend one of your day actions to fix your weapons or armor. You could use one of your actions to heal a scar. And if you heal a scar, it goes away. You can use one of your actions to deepen a scar if you so choose, because sometimes it might be beneficial for you to deepen a scar. And you can do other things during the day phase, but the point is the day phase has things to help you at night.
Mm-hmm.
There is, I believe I have you can go on diplomatic missions during the day phase to get assistance during the night from neighborhood towns and that type of thing. Trying to find out, but I keep running out of pages. Just gonna add, because I was working on the interface, the prettiness of the everything, and I didn't. So yeah, so all weapons have a durability. So your durability will degrade over time. So you'll need to sharpen your weapons and get them fixed up and that type of thing. How do I want to see the day phase? Let me get to the day phase. So scar cards will basically they'll give you a flaw. They'll give you a benefit when they deepen. And then World of Midnight. Oh, I don't have the day stuff. Where's my day stuff? All right. Well, that's fine. The point being, I haven't been working on this. I've been working on Mass Pause and Plaguebound, so I wasn't as well prepared for this conversation as I thought it was.
Also,
That's okay.
games worth working on. Very cool. So,
Mm-hmm. Um, I had so Thursday night I did a playtest with Wes and some of our friends for Mass Pause.
yeah,
Worked super amazing.
nice.
Like it was so good. Like, I mean, there's minor things that I need to tweak, but like the stress clocks and the scene clocks and the way things were working, some of it wasn't working because I'm not the greatest DM and I forget to go, oh hey, you want to spend 3 edges for a victory. Tell me how that victory plays out.
Yeah.
You know, but a better DM than me would be able to run the game really.
All right. Well, if I meet one, I'll let them know.
So the point being is that the way this system works is the scar cards are really important to like how you function.
Mhm.
Now, that being said, what happens is the scar cards just don't happen all the time. They happen on particular face cards. So, like a Jack of Spades has a particular scar card. So, when you get the Jack of Spades, that major effect comes into play.
Is it when you draw the card to your hand, or is it when you play the card?
No, when you either burn it or you combo it.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm calling. I think I'm calling it combo. Activate. I'm calling it activate, not combo. Burning it is when you burn the card to get the points added to your roll.
Right.
So, and there are things like, for the rest of the scene, you draw a card, you may draw an additional card, or, gain 20 temporary morale bonus points to your morale. There are major things like that. Allies within 15 feet, you gain 3 morale class bonuses. Because morale, so you have two different armor types. You have morale class and you have armor class. Morale class is like how strong-willed you are and how well you're protected mentally. Mm-hmm. So you can get bonuses to that too.
Nice.
What were you going to ask? I interrupted.
I've kind of forgotten now, to be honest. So it must not have been that important.
So that's kind of like where I'm at. I am going to make 4 decks of scar cards that will be all shuffled together. So you will have 4 Queen of Diamonds in the scar cards. You 1 for the morale card, 4 Queen of Diamonds for the morale, and 4 Queen of Diamonds for the physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered. You mentioned the bonuses like getting temporary morale boosts or things like that. Is that the deepened scars? Is that when they're deepened? That's where the positives are?
Yeah, the ones that I just stated were for deepening.
Okay.
And then like, like your flaw might be allies within 5 feet of you have a -1 on morale rolls when need be. I'm gonna start to ask a question. How hard would it be to run as a GM? How fast is the game on the player side? What kind of prep is the game expecting from you? As far as prep, it's no more than Dungeons and Dragons, so you're not gonna actually probably a little bit quicker. I haven't tested this, so Twice Dead Mage, so I don't know how well it runs yet. I'm not quite there for testing. Like, we were supposed to do character creation today, and I thought I had a character sheet already for this, and come to find out I didn't. So, gleeful Kraken sends her crab unlinks to the darkness of the woods. Oh, Kraken sent me. Oh, okay. So I'm going to probably be playing testing this probably after February, because I got a lot going on my plate right now, because we have the backer kit for Wes's adventure starting in February. So that's going to be kind of on my plate. On top of that, I have a convention that month too. So I'll be pretty busy in February. So it will probably be March before I actually get to play test this. But it's definitely going to come into play. No, I wouldn't say that we're in the broad strokes phases. I would say that we're in the here's the game, let's play test it phase, not the here's my ideas, let's throw them on a plate. I'm more of like an alpha, beta than alpha with the game, even though I haven't played it. That being said, playing it might completely change that. But the reason why I haven't played it yet is because Scar cards are so important. I needed to get a deck of Scar cards done before I could play it, because you kind of need all the Scar cards in the deck to be able to play the game. Or at least written down so you could use them. And unfortunately, that took a lot of time. I have most of them done. I have some physical ones that I still have to do some benefits for. I think. Let me double check. Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more left to do, so I don't have that much more.
It's definitely come quite a ways since the last time I was on with you, just from the very beginning of the brainstorm when it was still like warrior and mage and all that.
Yeah, because back in the day it was warrior mage, and it's no longer warrior mage. I went with a little bit more specific type thing. This is kind of how our Scar card's going to be broken down. This is like a physical card. So you have your flaw at the top, and then you have your deepened ability. This particular one only activates when you burn it.
Okay.
But each time you burn this card, you increase your maximum health by 1 permanently. So, now, good question. You didn't ask this, but I'm going to put it out there. Reshuffling. There is a penalty to reshuffling your entire deck, but reshuffling also gives you the capability of possibly drawing this card again, so you can burn it. Now you can, during your day shift, reshuffle your deck for free without any penalties. But if you shuffle your deck during the night, there is a penalty for that.
Okay.
I am pretty sure on my design choices, Twice Dead. So this is one of those. This is kind of coming out like Ironbound did. I woke up one morning with this thought process in my head. And Ironbound was the same way. I woke up going, oh, hey, I have an idea. And once I wrote it down, I could see the flaws. I've also play tested this with myself several times. So it's not like I haven't play tested it. I've just not play tested it with players. And I don't think the mechanics need to change much. My wording of the mechanics might need to change. That's a big difference. Mechanics that need to be changed is harder to change. Mechanics that need word changing is a whole lot easier. At least that's the way I feel, John. I don't know how you feel.
Generally, I would say that's true. If it's, something with the wording can definitely change. You reword something a certain way, it does spark something where it's like, oh, this mechanically, it does present something different mechanically. But I feel like overall, you've got a full outline of mechanics and you've just been like putting in paragraphs of this is how this thing plays out in the game and et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah.
definitely would agree there.
And I would agree with Crabsoft. Alphas are minimum viable products that don't necessarily work. Betas are feature complete, and you're just seeking bugs. And that's kind of where I'm at with this game. Is when I go to play test it, I'm going to be seeking out bugs, not necessarily features. I've pretty much got the features down in my head. What the features are going to be. I did something similar with Magic once. Once the deck is empty, whoever casts it suffers an arcane wound or a penance, depending on if they use arcane or divine magic. Yeah, I don't know if I've written what the penalty is for reshuffling. I can't remember. I think I know what it is in my head. I just don't know if I put it down in paper yet. But basically when you reshuffle at night, you're actually going to take a disadvantages on all your actions until the day. So you would roll 2d10 plus your skill modifier and take the lowest. Plenty of fake betas in Steam. Yeah, there is plenty of fake betas in Steam. So I'm trying to think if there's any other mechanics that I'm forgetting. So no, that's not the right one. Oh my god, it's running so slow. Is it because I'm streaming at the same time? I don't know.
It's probably my fault.
So basically how the game really feels is like it's deliberately supposed to feel tense and dangerous. It's not supposed to be an easygoing game. Like the monsters are going to hit hard and they're going to hit fast. So plus I wanted a game that I could roll in. Some two people, I won't name them, Scrat and DM Tales, convinced me that Mass Tales needed to be a game that I couldn't roll. Unfortunately, they were absolutely right. Mass Tales works perfectly that way.
Mass Pause?
Mass Pause. Why was I calling it Mass Tales? That's weird. Mass Pause works perfectly that way. I'm not good at writing solo games. When I play test it by myself, I actually like literally play as the game master and as a player, and I will alternate back and forth going, hey, and in my head going, hey, wait, this does this make sense as a player um versus a GM? Um and yeah, so it's kind of like one of those situations where I go back and forth. Too real. Yeah. Maybe I might try adding a solo play to it twice dead, but I got to get it working first, I think. Um, uh, like I said, the core rules is basically the way it works is it's a 1d10 plus skill. Um, the target is still under the each if you get 5 under the target, it's a partial success. If you get 5 over the target, it's a critical success. Um, like I said, there's morale class and armor class. Morale class protects you from physical. Morale class protects you from like fear, doubt, psychological pressure, because monsters aren't going to just have physical attacks. They're going to have like psychological attacks. You're seeing monsters that have like grotesqueness to them. These are not like orcs or dragons. They're grotesque monsters. Even though I am going to have dragons in them because the logo has a dragon, that would be kind of pointless to have a dragon in the logo if you weren't going to have
Yeah,
um
but it can be grotesque dragon, right?
exactly. Yeah, writing makes my head hurt. Yeah, try writing a solo game. You know what? I might just give this game to John from Sharp Mountain Games because he's super amazing at writing solo mechanics. Um, Maybe I'll just give it to him to write the solo mechanics for.
Certainly could.
um, because he does a lot of solo mechanics. Um, and in fact, he has like a whole YouTube channel that you can actually watch where he plays games solo that weren't meant to be solo.
Oh, cool.
So if you haven't checked him out, John from Sharp Mountain Games, you can just look up Sharp Mountain Games on YouTube. It comes right up. Um, your hand can get so you start with 5 cards in your hand. But you can different abilities from classes will increase that. Like the shade starts with 6 instead of 5. And then characters who have an agility of 4 or more also start with an extra card. And the reason why I did that was because if you have an agility of 4 or more, you're a fast character. You should have the ability to choose an initiative card that you would prefer.
Makes sense.
And then like I said, enemies are going to be able to reduce the number of cards in your deck. They're going to be able to do stuff like take the top 3 cards of your deck and put them in your graveyard.
Okay.
That type of situation. So it's not necessarily going to be just attack of your health. It could be attack of your deck. And then different things as far as like night reshuffles, borrowed strengths, at night, the consequence. I did write it down, though I'm changing it, so that's not going to matter. But the point being is reshuffling is going to cost you something dear, and monsters can cause you to get to the point where you need to reshuffle. Um um character creation, like I've gone over the characters. Equipment is going to be important. What's interesting is not only do scar cards have specific card abilities, magical items are going to have specific card abilities also.
Okay.
So if you have a magic sword, you're going to be able to like enhance it through the day shift to get like the ace of spades does this effect. And then armor can also do the same thing. You can get specialized armor. Those are going to be more of, well, I haven't decided if those are going to be more of an activation or it happens when it's in your hand. So that might be a way of keeping, hey, here's your ace of spades, but it's more beneficial to keep it in my hand than it is to actually use it. Because aces are high in the game. Aces are worth 14 points. So because it goes 10, jacks are 11, queens are 12s, kings are 13s, and then aces are 14s. Oh, jokers. We haven't even talked about jokers. Jokers do bad things. When you activate a joker, the action succeeds in a disastrous or distorted way. But there's benefits to playing jokers. Like you do max damage.
Okay.
With a joker. So it's not like it's just a hurtful thing, because then you would never play it. It would just sit in your hand.
Yeah.
So that's kind of dumb. Because plate armor is walking tank that should fall against certain things. That only should fall against certain things. Yeah, I would agree with you if he was facing a human. But what about monsters with razor sharp claws that could slice through most metals in the world?
Or just crush.
Or just crush because they're so strong. You know? I agree with you on human versus human. But plate armor is not as supportive against creatures that have supernatural strength. Yeah, that's true. So the way the money works in this game is you have something called veil shards. Veil shards are used to enhance your character and as money in money as the game. So veil shards are what they use to protect cities and towns. So they're seen as a commodity that is well worth it. Now, you get veil shards by closing veil rips. And you do that by either destroying all the monsters, or the witches a witch could try to heal a veil. So a veil tear has hit points to it, like a monster.
Oh, okay.
So you can heal a tear. But what's nice is if the players ignore healing a tear, things become worse. They get more monsters coming out. They get bigger monsters coming out. So but you will need which to do so, or a veil bound. Though a veil bound might not want to heal the scar. They might want to use the magic to benefit themselves. So it's interesting, like the scenario, it has its own like hit points in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much a go out into the world, heal a spot, come back to the base camp, recover, go back out into the world, recover. So it's definitely that type of play in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I picked up on. A game I play a lot of is Blades in the Dark, which has that sort of prep phase and then job phase. So that kind of like snapped into my mind pretty easily, which I do
I
like.
have not played Blades in the Dark yet.
Oh, we'll fix that sometime.
I haven't even read it yet. So that's kind of where Veil Shards come into play. There, you get them from healing Veil tears. So they're kind of like a currency the DM can give out. But you also use them for experience. So you kind of like, they're used to level up your character because your character levels up with equipment. So you're going to want to like get better equipment. To get better equipment, you have to spend Veil Shards. I think that's all I got. I'm trying to think what else. It doesn't get more complicated than that. The complication is like using and spending cards. That's where it becomes complicated. You two caught me in the middle of writing my second comment. I'm a big believer in mechanics, modeling a world with abstractions. So like armor representing a single individual thing doesn't make sense, but modeling a general defense makes sense. Yeah. Blades is all the good things about Powered by the Apocalypse, but more fun to me, at least.
I agree.
I really like Powered by the Apocalypse games. Like I've played Dungeon World. I tried playing City of Mist. I did not have the right group for that. What else have I played by Power? Monster of the Week, which was a lot of fun.
That's a cool one.
I still want to try Apocalypse. Because that's kind of the game that started it all. So, but yeah, so this is kind of how the book's going to be laid out too. I think the layout's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's got that kind of torn, scarred feeling to it.
That's the point.
Yep.
Give it a try. I definitely want to try Blades. It's in my list. So I have to try. You don't really like Powered by the Apocalypse games? I think they're good. I think the mechanics are a little boring in Powered by the Apocalypse because it's just 2d6 and it gets boring that way, but there's so narrative that if you have the right group, they're super fun. But they're definitely like, you have to have the right group. If you try to get like just D&D players into a Powered by the Apocalypse game, you're just looking for a not a fun time. That's my opinion. We welcome yours. But that's kind of the system. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. I like to make simple systems. This one's my most complicated so far.
Yeah, but the complexity, I feel like you kind of said it already, it lies within the gameplay itself and player decisions. When you've got these cards and you've, like, do I burn them for bonuses? Do I do the activate where I'm combining
Yeah,
them? How can I combine them in a pinch? Like, yeah.
and really there's only like 4 actions that you can do. So it's not like it's not, I wouldn't call it rules heavy game.
Right.
I would say that it has a lot of rules lookup. But I'm hoping that I can design the cards and stuff in a way that doesn't have to happen as often. Like, you don't have to go, okay, wait, I had 6 cards here. Which card does this? Which card does that? Because I think the one thing Daggerheart fails at is that the cards are hard to read on what they do.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you, again, because it's mechanics light, or like you said, it's an easy way to get everything onto one card. So I think theoretically you should be able to do that and have those cards convey really well. Um, so that's not a lot of flipping through pages.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be, if you have the cards, it won't be a lot of flipping through pages.
Yeah.
I will have reference sheets for the classes, because each class has a different, like, all right, hearts, 2 hearts does this, 2 spades do this,
Right.
a spade and a heart does this, a spade and a club does this. But even then, there's only like 16 combinations. So, classes will have the ability of changing the face card ones, but that is 4. You have Jack, you have king, queen, and ace. So it's not like you have a lot of options like changing.
Mm-hmm.
The main 16 combinations will be all the same. Daggerheart fails on a lot of things. I don't like the initiative system and all the bean counting in a fiction first game. 100% I agree with that. I don't like all the bean counting in a narrative focused game, is what they're toting it as. I'd argue that it's not narrative first. But some people think it is. I think it's narrative open. But even then, it's not as open as they make it sound, because, like, your ability has a specific, like, narrative description for it. That's why I don't like the cards, because half the card is a narrative description of what the power is.
Right. That should
If
really
you
fall
want,
to the players, right? To describe what
yeah,
they're
I
doing.
mean, yeah, that's why the Magic and Ironbound is so open.
Which is super fun. Narrative curious.
Narrative curious. That's funny. I am thinking about making a spell list for my players on Witches and Veilbound on this game. I haven't decided whether that's going to be the case or not, or if I'm going to keep it open magic like Ironbound.
Such a different mechanical system from, with using cards like this. So it might be helpful to have like a small list, at least to get people started. But
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those situations where if you just need to make a check for your spell casting, it's two skills. You either have you either have ritual if you're a witch,
okay.
or you have what did I call it? Veil. What did I call it? I called it something.
Yeah.
Veil binding or something like that.
Right.
I called it Veilcraft. That's right. I called it Veilcraft. I love how I can write something like 2 weeks ago and completely forget what it is. Um, but I mean, that's really, if you go to make a spell, that's what you need. So why bother making a spell list when you could just have it open?
True.
You know. But I will say that's the biggest part people have trouble with Ironbound is that they're like, what do you mean I can do everything? Until they figure out that they can do anything. And then they're like, oh, I can do anything.
Yeah, it's a mindset shift from, again, just coming from something like D&D where there's spell lists and everything. So once you get used to that concept, like the creativity is yeah, it's not ironbound, it's boundless. So
Um,
call it that, the boundless magic system.
but I really feel like the world in this game is really interesting. Um, I kind of like how like at night is when all the monsters come out, and during the day is like a relief. Um,
Yeah, especially like you said, it's supposed to be really tense and things during the night like that. So having that release valve during the day, like now I have time to think and plan and all that. I like the balance.
yep. Um, and that's where a lot of your non-negotiating, a lot of your like negotiating skills can come into play. You know, like interrogation
Mhm.
and presence, description, bargaining. They're all going to come into play during like the day shift mostly, because monsters are going to be monsters. They're not going to be. You're not going to be facing um let's say Strahd, things
Yeah,
like that. You're going to be facing
that's
monsters.
where my mind went
These
too.
are kaiji. They're not huge, but they're they're animals. They're not necessarily they're going through these risks because they find food and delicious things on the other side.
Yeah, I'd
Now,
say. Oh,
now that being said, is there something on the other side that might be pushing them there that way? Possibility. That's a possibility. I'm going to leave that up to the DM though. I think I'm going to hint at it, um, but not necessarily come out and plop it down in the book.
would there be other humans on this side that have formed cults around these things that those interrogation skills could come into play to help people find?
Yeah, possibly. I can't see why that wouldn't be the case, especially veilbound people who are using the power of these rifts
Mhm,
to gain power.
mhm.
I feel like that would drive them to be so more like that type of thing.
Yeah, that makes
Making
sense.
monsters monstrous. I know, isn't it ingenious? Like this thought process of, hey, monsters are actually monsters, not creatures that can communicate and function with society.
But if I don't know their backstory, how can I sympathize somehow? Like,
I don't want you to sympathize with
uh,
these monsters. I want you to hate them. I want you to want to kill them. Um, and this has been going on for hundreds of years. So it's not like it's something that's new.
yeah.
And I mean, it's up to each GM if they want to have the world be able to be solved, the problem to be solved. Personally, if I ever run this game, you will never solve the problem. The problem will always exist. Um, Loot pinatas in a one shot. All right, I'm interested in hearing that 3-hour lecture there, Crabsoft, because That sounds like a great idea. But I didn't want my monsters to have loot for people to get. I want loot to be crafted. I want you to have to go during your day and find a crafter to craft your items to enhance you. I want you to spend your veil shards to enhance your character. Um, yeah, so that's the system. I don't think it gets any more complicated than that. I will say that. Oh, one other thing that I didn't mention is that when each class has a suit assigned to them, example, like the witch has hearts, they get hearts. And when they burn a heart, a witch burns a heart, they may heal another hero's health for half the card value.
Okay.
So, and then like the Grimblades are spades, I believe. Clubs, they're clubs. So when they burn a club, the Grimblade burns a club, they may knock the target prone and stagger or force them to focus on them. So, your classes are going to want to have a particular suit. That's on top of all of the effects when you combine. That's when you burn a card. So if you have like a 10 of clubs for a Grim thing and you're trying to attack something, you can burn that 10 of clubs, not only get plus 10 to the attack, but you also can stagger them or knock them prone or have them focus on you for their next attack.
Do you have to succeed on that attack to get that effect? Okay, so you could
No.
just burn a one just to get it out of
Yep.
your hand, but to get that
Yep.
effect. So that's cool. That's a nice little. I'm stuck with this card. No, I can at least discard it to get something out of it. That's cool.
Welcome. Have a good game, folks. Greetings from Belgium. Welcome in,
Nice.
Steve. Stevie. But yeah, so that's what the system's like. I don't know if I have much more to talk about. I've pretty much talked it. I think it's going to be a good system. I think it's going to be unique, which is more of what I'm trying for than anything. It's kind of like Mass Pause. Mass Pause, I really focusing on trying to make it unique compared to anything else.
I think from
And
the first iteration of this, again, when I was on last time, just seeing the idea form till now, like it's really, I can see where you've had that idea. Like you said, you woke up with it. So seeing it from that perspective till now, like it looks really cool. And it's definitely unique for sure, but you fleshed it out really, really well. So I think I think you're really close to playtesting. I think it sounds like the playtest delay is just your time at this point where it's mostly ready.
it's literally my time. It's not. It's totally ready. I am so busy trying to get the backer kit done. I'm trying to get Plaguebound finished so I can get that out the door. There is so much you can do with a deck of cards. I got 12 lures of magic taught by 12 demon despawns, each one tied to a face card. Sell your soul to them and you get his face card in hand anyways.
Nice.
There is a lot you can do with a deck of cards. That's for sure. I'm finding out that there's a lot more, especially if you start combining cards. I mean, hell, I'm going to have my Scar cards. There are half of these pages. So there are 32 Scar cards, and I'm going to have 4 versions of this. So that's, 64 and 64 is
128.
128 128 different versions that you can have for Scar cards. But I think the Scar cards add to the lore too, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and it also some people have complaints about, like, again, more simpler games being boring where it's all the same, versus now with all those different cards, you're getting a lot of different looks at these cards, and everything can kind of come up differently throughout the gameplay. So that could be fun.
Hey Dread, how you doing? Um yeah. And I think it really adds like you could literally kill a character off and play the same class, and it's going to play differently with when you get your scars.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for. And I really just like the way I designed the cards. The cards
No,
look freaking sweet.
they look very good.
I mean, the image needs to be replaced. The image at the top is a placeholder for everyone to know. It's not, it's AI art. It will not be in the final product. I just used it as a placeholder to find out what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want.
that makes sense.
Um, um, but I think they look everything else on it I designed. So, um, I think,
Yeah, it looks great.
and I like that they're different colors.
Yeah.
Um, I really like my card. I all I need is an image. I just need to hire an artist for an image. It is such a Catholic thing. I was brought up Catholic, so maybe that's where I'm getting it from. What Twice Dead. Um my major thing is I got to come up with another, like I said, I have 4 of these left to finish, and then I have to come up with another 96 of them, somewhere around there. So that should be fun. Yeah, I do. I have to. I'm not fully finished with them, Dread, but I agree with you. They need some. But the overall basic design is there. Um. And a lot of that had to do with like I want the text large enough so you can actually see it and that type of thing. And um um but technically this is on a template from drive through, so I could just submit it to drive through and have these printed. So it's not like they are definitely available. I should be able to get them printed fairly easy.
Yeah.
Um let's see. What else can we talk about? Um like I said, I had the playtest for Mass Pause. That went really well. Readable text, get out of here. Um uh Mass Pause, for people who are here that don't know, is anthropomorphic, and I say that word wrong every time. Um Anthropomorphic animal superhero game that I'm working on. So basically Darkwing Duck, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, uh Mad Cats, that type of like 90s animal superhero type show is what mass pause is. Uh-oh, we lost John. John is down. John is down. So you're going to do cards yourself? That's interesting. I'm going to switch to until John comes back. If John comes back, that's interesting. Yeah, I definitely. What art style you got in mind for the final thing? So, all right, I'm going to go back here and I'll show you. So I'm definitely going to go with a similar art style to this image. I want it to be kind of like black and white, like bright colors on like accents. Or are you talking about and then so I have, let me see if I can find it. I think it's this one. Oh no, that's the one I'm using. I think I have. Is it this one? No, that's the Scar Card one. I I don't have it. I thought I had one. Oh, John's back. Let's get him back
Yep.
on the show.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
I might be able to open up the images that I'm using. No. Anyways, the point being is I'm looking at black and white with accents of like blues and reds in the final product. This is probably pretty close to the layout format up here of how I'm going to be doing things. You know, titles will have rips. Sidebar, look, literally, this just says this is a sidebar because I wanted to see what a sidebar looked like. So sidebars are going to be kind of like that. My page numbers on the bottom will be very similar to that. As far as the mechanics, the scar cards, I'm pretty satisfied with these scar cards. I might get rid of the background and have it match more of like the book being a white. But I think this matches pretty well with the book. So I'm probably going to use that. If you're talking about mass pause, because I'll bring up mass pause. Because mass pause is kind of neat. I like the layout of mass pause. Again, this is AI art that I'm using as placeholders. Please don't kill me. It's just AI art. Here's the title. This is kind of the layout format for mass pause. So it's very cartoony, very colorful. It's going to be very and it's going to be very cartoony. I have a person who I am hiring to do the art for. Let me see if I have some of her artwork so you guys can see her style. Don't think I do. Not easily accessible, at least. Nope. That is not supposed to be available. I don't think I've sent it to you. I'm going through a conversation with Wes because I did send it to Wes, and that takes a while because we talk a lot. I'd be quicker if I just look up Peter. because Peter used it on his same artist on his stuff.
Oh, cool.
Um, I got the artist names from Peter. I think this will work. This will show you guys. This is Peter's Kickstarter page for his thing, but it's this style of like comic, you know, comic book style that she does. So I'm looking forward to it. It makes great placeholders, and it gives honestly, it gives artists more ideas of like what you want. I've never had an artist. Well, I have had artists that say, "Don't give me AI art for," but like, I don't know how to describe what to draw because I'm not an artist. I'm a graphic designer. Um, but yeah, so it's that style, like cartoony style that she does. So I'm very excited about that. She's going to be doing that type of drawing for Mass Pause. So we're talking like Darkwing Duck style type 90s, you know, thick lines, that style of art. And I tried to capture that with some of the AI art that I'm using so I can kind of see how it would work like. It's not it's I think it's going to work. But she's going to you don't need to see my processes or my giant horrible desktop. She's going to like focus on like we're going to work on like having 5 or 6 different characters, and then throughout the book those are the characters she's going to use, so they're going to continuously come back up. But yeah, I think that's it. AI is such a touchy subject. Finally replacing all my tomb. It is a very touchy subject. For good reason. It wasn't trained well. AI art was trained pretty poorly. Not many AI training bots were actually paid. But that being said, I feed a model old etchings because I love the style, and AI struggles a lot with that heavy cross hatching. Yes, it does. It doesn't know what to do with it. That being said, I find it useful for placeholders. And if I didn't use AI art, I just do a Google search for a placeholder. So it really is. I'm not taking away any kind of like artist job for a placeholder. I could just use a square, honestly, but I like seeing the image there. It makes me. But anyways, point being is that yes, AIR is frowned upon in the industry. I understand why it's frowned upon, but as a placeholder, I think it's fine.
And it helps you establish, like you said, establish that vision you have for it, which makes the
Correct.
artist's job that you do hire so much easier.
Oh my god, it does. Like, yeah, and honestly, Crapshoff, that is a good argument. However, that the AI people are using is significantly not good for the environment. But I don't necessarily think that's a problem with AI. I think that's a problem with our governments not using enough renewable energy in general. but that, that could be argued. Definitely helps with the tone and helps me get me excited. But yes, could have just Googled some stuff previously. Yeah. It's God, you're right on the words today, Twice Dead Mage. Yeah, it's made in a dirty way and it can ruin livelihoods, but is already here and is not going away. Uh, I've been saying this since the get-go. I strongly feel that AI art is nothing more than what the camera was to painters and what the video camera was to photographers. Eventually, it's just in 20 some odd years, it's just going to be a tool that people use to make art. I've said it. I've said it multiple times. That being said, I do not like the way it was trained. I think artists should have got paid. On the other hand, I don't blame the AI companies for that because they bought databases from people that should have paid the artists to store those images in a database. But they didn't. Instead, they put fine print in a user agreement that said they have rights to those images. So I don't blame I don't blame the AI companies, and I don't think legally they're going to stand grounds because a lot of these AI companies bought legitimate databases to train their images from. Not all of them. There are some really bad ones out there. But artists should get paid. 100% agree with you on that one. Artists should get paid for every generation that is used. And I'd be even willing to pay more for a subscription to AI art for artists to get paid better.
It's interesting. It's sort of like the Spotify of the art world.
Yep.
Which, as a musician, Dread, I'm sure you also have issues with, as do I. But yeah, it's a tough thing when tech keeps pushing forward as fast as it does.
I mean,
we're going to run into a lot of moral quandaries. It's the Jurassic Park all over again.
I ran into a drive-through with an AI bot taking my order.
Right.
So where's the moral quandary with that? Like, so, that's taking away from a job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, creatives are losing money constantly. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I don't think it's going away anytime soon either. I could see that. Perhaps soft. I definitely can see not engaging with the money aspect of it, but unfortunately, that's also what drives it. Most of these big companies are using it because it's cheaper. I mean, look at is it the people who made Baldur's Gate 3? They were just in the news because they said that they were using it for concepts arts on things, and they got backlash on that. Hospitals still need a blame chain. All the guy in the lab, and they need to fall guy when things go wrong. That's funny. Here's a more historical approach. When artists were forced into factories and killed when they were resisted.
Yikes.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
people, artists have been suffering from the one percenters for years. Right. I know a streamer who generates TTRPGs using ChatGPT and playtests them every day. I am zero mad about him taking money out of game designer pockets. You know, honestly, I'm not upset with somebody that does that, because my game will stand on its own. Hopefully my game's better. I can't guarantee that's the case. Um, but yeah, we still have to create. I mean, I still will create even if AI takes most of the game market, because creating makes me is enjoyable to me.
it's its own
I
point.
don't make I don't make money anyways. I'm so I'm so in the red right now with Ironbound. It's not funny. I don't think I'll be making money for at least 2 or 3 years off Ironbound if I do at all. Um because it costs so much to hire artists and to print and to advertise, and so uh, I disagree. I don't think I'm an artist, and I don't think my opinion does count in this debate. I much rather listen to an actual artist. um I don't consider myself an artist. I consider myself a writer. I guess that is a form of art. Um,
Yeah.
I guess. Um, I'm not a very good uh, I have a lot of people who look at my stuff and correct it for me. Um, and that's another cost. Ironbound, I've had 4 editors look at Ironbound. John's one of them. So um I laugh at the twit that said AI is punishment for artists who are being annoying on Twitter. Um, I will laugh at that, but I also don't agree with it. Um, but I think we're done here, John. Let's call it a night because I got to go eat dinner because it's dinner time.
That's a good plan. It's probably my
Yeah,
plan too. I like the explanation you gave for the system. Everything makes sense, and again, seeing it from that first inception to now is pretty cool. And I'm excited to see all these scars that come out.
I just to answer craps off before we go. I look at it. I look at game design very scientifically. Um, and logically. Like, I don't, my worlds are not that unique. I mean, there are hundreds of fantasy worlds that have a day and night shift. I mean, look at probably worlds that I probably have read, such as Mistborn. Mistborn has a kind of like a day and night shift thing going on. So I probably got it from that, honestly. It was definitely an inspiration. Um, but like, I don't think my worlds are that unique as far as like artistry wise. There are more artistry type games that I like. Um, the right game. I can't think of the title. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy until I think of that title. Hold on. Eat the Reich. Um, that game is very artistic. Um, and very like, yeah, I suppose. I just don't see myself as an artist. I don't know. Maybe
That's
I
okay.
guess I am.
You don't have to. The rest of us will see that way for you. So
That's fine. You can definitely. I just don't see myself as an artist. I definitely look at it as mechanics. I look at the math. I look at um, I look at my. It's an iteration on top of itself. Like I'm constantly iterating on the game. It's not like so as an iteration. I guess that is art, but
yeah,
um, I feel like I look at it scientifically. Like I go, okay, well, why isn't this working, and how can we fix it? Not necessarily like, all right, does this make the narrative unique? Um, I look more of like mechanically, is this working? Um, because I leave a lot of things up to the dungeon master or uniqueness of the world. Engineering approaches art. Yeah. Okay. I'm not. I will gladly take the artist role. Trust me. Yeah. No. I used to be a programmer too. No longer can find a job, and that doesn't actually upset me. I can tell you why, because of AI, and that I should feel bad about that, but I don't.
that's why instead I like it.
You're right there on the. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I could sit here and talk about this all day, but I got to go eat because I'm starving. Because last time I had something to eat was 9 o'clock this morning. So because that's when my lunchtime was. Because I work at a cafe and I'm there early morning. So, all right, folks. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening about my rant about my new game. John, thanks for joining me on this rant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's say goodbye, YouTube. Goodbye, Twitch.